Hello, welcome to my podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the specific services that LDAs are authorized to perform at the specific direction of a person who's representing themselves in a legal matter. Under the Business and Professions Code, LDAs are authorized to perform self-help services that can enable self-represented litigants to get help with form preparation, get access to published information, which is both legal and factual, access to legal documents, and to get assistance with filing and serving those legal documents, all while avoiding engaging in the unlawful practice of law, while providing a much-needed service to help litigants help themselves. These rules were put in place in order to protect the consumers representing themselves in these legal matters, consumers who cannot afford the services of an attorney and who use the self-help services of LDAs. The law requires that LDAs restrict their activities to specified services that do not constitute the practice of law. Practicing law is reserved for attorneys licensed with the state bar. Per Business and Professions Code Section 6125, no person shall practice law in California unless the person is an active licensee of the state bar. So let's talk about what LDAs are able to do and what self-help services are. Specifically, self-help services include the following activities that registered LDAs are specifically authorized to perform. LDAs may complete and type forms as directed by the client. LDAs may provide general published factual information that have been written or approved by an attorney. LDAs may make available published legal information and documents. And finally, LDAs may file and serve those legal forms and documents. Let's first talk about the most common service that LDAs perform: form preparation. Per Business and Professions Code Section 6400, subsection D1, LDAs are authorized to help self-represented litigants with completing, quote, legal documents in a ministerial manner selected by a person who is representing themselves in a legal matter by typing or otherwise completing the documents at the person's specific direction, end of quote. Well, LDAs commonly complete forms for consumers using a pen or typing the information on the computer. Sometimes the LDA is copying information from one form to another. For example, if the self-represented litigant completed a questionnaire with all of the necessary answers and information that the form to be submitted requires, then the LDA is only copying the information from the questionnaire to the forms. LDAs provide clerical services and fill in blanks on particular forms selected by the client and at the client's specific direction. Those acts alone are not the unauthorized practice of law. Just this service alone, form preparation, is helpful to those representing themselves. The biggest fear that self-represented litigants encounter is making a mistake on the legal forms and having the documents rejected by the court. However, form preparation is not all that LDAs are allowed to do. LDAs can also provide self-represented litigants with published legal and factual manuals, guides, and brochures so long as they were approved by an attorney. When the LDA provides these guides to self-represented litigants, the LDA avoids engaging in UPL. That's the unauthorized practice of law. Per Business and Professions Section Code 6400, subsection D2, LDAs are authorized to perform the service of, quote, providing general published factual information that has been written or approved by an attorney pertaining to legal procedures, rights, or obligations to a person who is representing themselves in a legal matter to assist the person in representing themselves, end of quote. So in this situation, giving a client a manual or brochure with factual information, even a detailed one containing specific advice and legal incidents for the preparation of a legal matter, would not necessarily constitute the practice of law if the LDA did not personally advise the client with regard to his or her case. So for example, an LDA may be providing a self-represented litigant with copies of brochures that have been prepared by or approved by an attorney regarding different subject areas of the law, such as family law, name changes, etc. Brochures that explain the process, the timeline, and things to consider and expect, so long as the LDA doesn't give specific legal advice to the self-represented litigant's case. In addition, there are other agencies and legal service providers that share information on their website, which are also approved by attorneys, that give self-represented litigants the information they need regarding their specific subject areas of law. Information that can be downloaded and provided to the client directly to assist the client in making informed decisions on their own cases. If a self-represented litigant is unclear on their process, even after reviewing the manuals and brochures and they need legal advice, the LDA shall inform them that they require the services of an attorney. However, not all matters require an attorney, and for those cases, there are resources out there that help people help themselves. Specifically, Business and Professions Code Section 6400, subsection D3, authorizes LDAs to perform the service of, quote, making published legal documents available to a person who is representing themselves in a legal matter, end of quote. An LDA may find and share with self-represented litigants published legal documents available in print and available online, such as from the state court website at www.courts.ca.gov, where the California Judicial Branch publishes information regarding various subject areas of the law to help the self-represented litigant get access to legal documents and processes. Subject areas such as family law, traffic, divorce, custody, visitation, small claims, and so much more. In addition, other published legal documents can be obtained from the Sacramento Law Library. This law library is a valuable resource for self-represented litigants because on their website, the law library publishes legal forms that can be downloaded from their site free of charge to help the self-represented litigant understand their process and allows them to make informed decisions. The website is www.saclaw.org/legal-forms. The subject areas on their site include bankruptcy, deeds in real estate, pleading paper, civil lawsuits, power of attorneys, and so much more. The Sacramento Law Library also has links to other online resources prepared by attorneys. These resources share tips, such as how to draft the documents, and the resources also include helpful checklists that empower self-represented litigants to represent themselves in their legal matter. All of these tools and resources are available to those representing themselves because it allows them to educate themselves and to get access to information on what forms they need to fill out and the process on getting the documents filed with the court. Since LDAs are not allowed to select the forms for self-represented litigants, these online resources are a great tool for the self-represented litigant to become informed of what their specific needs are and which forms they'll need. Once the self-represented litigant tells you which forms to fill out for them, you can prepare them on their behalf. After you prepare the forms, what's next? That's where Business and Professions Code Section 6400 subsection D4 comes in. This code specifically indicates that an LDA is authorized to perform the service of, quote, filing and serving legal forms and documents at the specific direction of a person who is representing themselves in the legal matter, end of quote. So once the forms are prepared by the LDA and the self-represented litigant has had ample opportunity to review the forms and request any changes to be made to their satisfaction, the self-represented litigant will sign the forms. If the self-represented litigant specifically directs the LDA to do so, the LDA may do two things. One, file the documents at the courthouse directly on behalf of the self-represented litigant, and two, serve the filed documents to the opposing party. We have discussed on this podcast, the legislator created these rules to define what self-help services are and to restrict the authorized services LDAs can perform in order to avoid them engaging in the unlawful practice of law. However, these rules do give LDAs the authority to provide a great service to self-represented litigants nonetheless. Under the Business and Professions Code, LDAs are authorized to perform services that can enable self-represented litigants to get help with form preparation, get access to published information, both legal and factual, access to legal documents, and to get assistance with filing and serving those legal documents, all while avoiding engaging in the unlawful practice of law, while providing a very much needed service to help self-represented litigants help themselves. Thank you for joining my podcast. And if you found this content helpful, please share it, hit like, and subscribe.